Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. You ask us questions, we give you answers, and they are mostly property related. And this week's no different. We've got two really good questions in this week, so plenty of knowledge to share. And you may be asking yourself, well, why do Rob and Rob get so many questions? Well, it could be our fantastic answers, and hopefully you partly feel like that, but it also is partly because we make it very easy for you to leave your questions, and it's free.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main reason. There are two ways of doing it. You can give us a call on 013 808 0035. That's 013 808 0035. Or you can go to thepropertyhub.net/ask. So two ways for you to get your question in. Russell picked one of those, and he is feeling a bit suspicious.
Hi, Rob and Rob. It's Russell calling here. Just a quick question for you guys. I'm using a mortgage broker for a property that I'm purchasing through RMP Properties, actually. And I've been sent a mortgage illustration. However, it strikes me that the broker may have a conflict of interest between finding a deal that fits my criteria and is as best priced as possible versus deals that earn them the most revenue. My question is, how can I be sure that the broker is acting in my best interests rather than their own? Is it just down to trust, or is there a way for them to prove that they're acting in my best interests? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
I really like this question, Rob, because there's lots to share. There's lots that people can take away from this question. So thank you, Russell. Really appreciate your question, because everyone can benefit from it. So there is the standard stuff you can do, Rob, like we would talk about in the past, where you ask for recommendations, do your research on the mortgage broker. And that's an absolute must. You should do those things. But there is more to this. So, for example, you may be looking at the mortgage illustration and seeing other products out there that look a bit more competitive. And you're thinking, why aren't I being given that mortgage? That's a lower rate. Is it because this mortgage has higher commission? Well, not necessarily, and actually probably unlikely. The much more likely reason for it is that you don't meet the criteria of that mortgage, or your property doesn't meet the criteria of that mortgage. So best buy tables for mortgages can often be deceiving, because you may be looking at a better product on paper from a headlines level than the one you're being offered, but there's probably a very good reason for that. Now, rather than just take it as said, you can just simply ask your mortgage broker to explain that to you. You know, if it's done in a nice way, I'm sure there'll be no problem there whatsoever. Just say to your broker, hey, I noticed these products on the market. Can you just educate me? Can you explain to me why I'm not getting these products and why you've chosen this one? No reasonable mortgage broker will take offence to that, and they'll talk you through their decisions. If they can't give you good reasons for their choice, then that's when you are more than welcome to be suspicious. But the chances are, if you've done your research and asked for recommendations, that a good broker will be able to talk you through their decision process.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with asking at all. And if you are still feeling a bit suspicious, you can actually see what they are making from the lender in terms of a commission for offering that mortgage to you. So when you get your illustration through, which tells you how much you're borrowing, over what period of time, what the rate is, and all that kind of thing, it will disclose on there what commission is being paid to the broker. So you can see it, and chances are it won't look particularly high, and therefore it will set your mind at rest, but you can question it if you want to. Another thing to bear in mind is that I always recommend using a broker who does charge you a fee. So there are some brokers who do not charge you, the client, any kind of fees at all, and they make all their money from the commission that they get paid by lenders. And there are two reasons why I don't like that. First of all, it means that they're probably not going to spend as much time on your case because they're not getting paid as much overall. And the other, of course, is that they've got more of an incentive to place you with a lender who's going to pay them more because it makes up all of their income rather than just a proportion of it. So there aren't many occasions in life where I'm actually wanting to pay a fee for something or I could get it for free, but this is one of them.
Yeah, and remember, if they're doing it for free, it's probably because they're trying to attract business. And you could say nothing wrong with that, but I'd rather have a busy broker, someone who's doing plenty of buy-to-let deals on a regular basis that's in demand, than somebody who's scratching around for business and doing zero fees to attract it. So although it sounds a bit bizarre, wanting to pay more money, it makes a lot of sense. So thank you, Russell. Great question. Next up, we've got Monesh.
Hi, Rob. My name is Monesh. I want to start by thanking you for all your podcasts and property resources. I'm a regular listener and find it drastically improves my daily commute to work. My question is that I found a derelict house which I want to buy and build on. I want to know what kind of steps I should take and how do I find out who the owner is and how should I contact them. What kind of things should I say to them? How do I sort of put forward my proposal that I want to buy their property? Should I ask why they don't use it? I'm, quite new to this. Don't really know what to start. I don't really know where to start. So, any tips and advice would be greatly appreciated. I also want to know, actually, have you guys had any kind of experience in this sort of thing? Thanks. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Monish. Good question. And a frustrating situation if you found something that looks perfect for what you want, but you just don't know how to go about buying it. And it happens more often than you might think. There's no absolute guaranteed way of doing this, but there's a couple of things that you can try. So the first place to start is with the land registry. So if you go onto the land registry, put in the address, pay your £3, you'll be able to download the title deeds for the property. On there, it will say the name of the owner, and hopefully it'll have their address. And if it does have an address, then hopefully it'll be their current address where you can write to them. This doesn't always work because, of course, if someone's owned the property for years and years and years, they might have moved, the land registry hasn't been updated, and you won't be able to get in touch with them. But it's worth a try. For £3, you might as well download it, write them a letter and see what happens.
We've got the land registry, Rob. As you say, that may work, but it may not. So what else can we do?
Okay, well, you could also try the local council. If it's empty, then often local authorities have empty homes teams whose job it is to try and bring homes back into use. Or maybe if it's derelict, they'll be aware of the property for some other reason because they're concerned about whether it's safe or not. Now, that again is not guaranteed. It's probably going to involve a lot of ringing around different departments, trying to find someone who knows what's what. But again, it's another thing you can try. And a third thing you can try is just asking the neighbours. Perhaps they will know what the story is. So unfortunately, there's not just one thing that you can do that's guaranteed to get you a result, but there's lots of different things you can try. It's going to involve some time and some patience, and you can't be sure of getting a result. But if it looks like a profitable enough deal, then it's probably worth giving it a go. So
there you go, guys. 2 questions, and hopefully you'll agree, 2 great answers. As we said at the beginning of the show, we make it very easy for you to get your questions in. So you've got something that's bothering you, or just that piece of knowledge that you haven't yet been able to grasp and you've been looking around and asking people, but you're not satisfied with those answers, then get in touch. Or even if it's just a basic question and you're feeling a bit lazy and you can't Google it, then try us too. We're more than happy to help. Remember, we gave you the telephone number earlier, and there's the URL, which is thepropertyhub.net/ask. Leave your questions there, and in future episodes, you may hear your voice and have your question answered. Sounds pretty good to me.
And to me, also pretty good is the Property Podcast on Thursday. So we will see you for that in a couple of days. Until then, have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.